Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Good day, everybody. Our distinguished speakers, colleagues from the Faculty of Agriculture, in the Department of Agricultural Economics and Farm Management, dear students, thank you very much for joining this webinar. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this first webinar of the Department of Agricultural Economics and Farm Management. And today actually marks a significant milestone for the department as we launch this platform to inspire and guide our students and young lecturers toward meaningful careers in agricultural economics. And I hope that this will be the first of many other webinars to come. And we actually carefully chose the topic for this webinar, exploring career pathways in agricultural economic skills for the future, because how else can we begin if our students do not know what the future holds for them? The webinar is intended to lay the foundation on which we will build. And when I say we, I mean both the lecturers and the students. Please, can you all hear me?
We can hear you, ma.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So as a student myself, I was a student in the same department about 15 years ago, and I didn't even know about many of the top institutions or the opportunities they offer. So it is good to have access to information, and also so that we can work towards building an impactful career. Back then, when you ask many agricultural economics graduates where they want to work, many people mention banks. Some people mention Central Bank of Nigeria. Some people mention maybe NNPC, because those were like the only places where we knew that offered good pay, because people were actually after good pay. But someone like me, obviously, I chose lecturing because that is where I am still working today. But today, things are a bit different. And that is why this conversation is actually very important. So we are honored to have an outstanding lineup of speakers. We have Professor Olubunmi Omotesho, a respected scholar, a father to many of us and a mentor to many of us in the department and the faculty and the university at large. We also have Dr. Michael Adeoye from NISA. For students who don't know NISA, NISA is the Nigeria Incentive-Based Risk Sharing System for Agricultural Lending. That is one of Nigeria's top non-bank financial institutions. We also have Mrs. Adepeju Idepeju from Afrexim Bank. I'm sure many of you may not know what Afrexim Bank means, but I'm sure she will tell you more about the bank and what they do at the bank. We also have Mr. Yinka Inyolakon, who works in tech and is innovating with AI solutions and is the founder of CIDAL AI. You will learn more about what he does when he presents. Then we have Dr. Shehu Salahu, who is a senior agricultural economist at the World Bank. I'm sure many of us know the World Bank, but do you know what they actually do at the World Bank? So the moderator today was actually carefully chosen. The moderator for today's session is an undergraduate student of the Department of Agricultural Economics, and she's also the president of the Nigeria Association of Agricultural Economics students. So I will hand you over to her later after the dean's presentation. But we actually sincerely thank all our speakers, your presence and willingness to share your experiences. We actually appreciate you sharing your time with us. And I also want to extend my gratitude to the Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture for his unwavering support that has made this event possible. And my appreciation also goes to the members of staff of the Department of Agricultural Economics and Farm Management, including all the professors and my colleagues in the department, including Professor Emu Adewumi, Professor Mohamed Lawa, and the rest. And I also thank my research assistants and the graduate students working within the department that have facilitated and supported me in organizing this particular webinar. And to our students and other participants, this is an opportunity to learn from the best. I urge you to engage actively, ask questions, and let this session broaden your vision for the future. So I will hand it over to the Dean now to give his welcome address. Afterwards, the moderator will take over and guide the session. Dean, sir.
Thank you, HOD. appreciate the presence of Professor Montesho, who at the beginning of my career here as an assistant lecturer took me up and started guiding me on how to write papers and how to become relevant within the system. So having you here today is of great pleasure. And I know that many of the participants, they will remember the day they started their program with the department and what you have done for them so far. The HOD, I appreciate this opportunity to witness the first webinar organized by your department. So I welcome everybody to this webinar of agricultural economics and farm management. This event is a testament to our commitment as a faculty to preparing future leaders for the evolving challenges and opportunities of agriculture. The theme, exploring career paths in agri-economics, skills for the future, is timely and significant. Agriculture is currently a profession that is central to shaping policies, driving innovation, and ensuring food security in a rapidly changing global economy. As technology advances, our market becomes more interconnected. The need for professionals with strong analytical skills, adaptability, and global perspectives has never been greater. Today, we are honored to have distinguished experts and alumni who have excelled in diverse fields, including academia, finance, technology, and international development. Their insight will help our students understand the breadth of opportunities available and the competencies required to thrive. I want to make a special appeal to our alumni. Your success stories inspire us, but we also need your support to bridge the resources gap that limit our ability to deliver world-class training and research. Whether through mentorship, internship, scholarship, or infrastructure development, your contributions can make a lasting impact. To our students, as you grow and succeed, I want you to learn from the alumni that have come around today to give back to the faculty. So we implore you also to have that orientation that as God will elevate you, you will give back to the faculty. Together, we can build a stronger faculty of agriculture that compete globally and serve our nation effectively. Thank you to our speakers for honoring this invitation and to the organizing team for making this event possible. I wish you all an inspiring and productive session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Moderator, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, the HOD, Faculty Agricultural Economics, and our speakers. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. We really appreciate your presence, and we are so eager to learn from you. So, moving to the overview of this webinar titled Exploring Career Pathways in Agricultural Economics, the Skills Needed for the Future, is designed to expose participants to emerging opportunities and essential competencies in the evolving world of agricultural economics. This session will highlight how agricultural economists can apply analytical skills, innovation, and policy insights to address challenges in sustainability and resources management. The program aims to equip students with knowledge and perspectives needed to thrive in a rapidly changing global agricultural landscape. As we dive into this educative session, please kindly mute your mic and drop your questions as we go on in this webinar. So I'll be welcoming the first speaker. Our first speaker is Professor Olubunmi A. Omotesho, Professor of Agricultural Economics in the University of Ilorin. So moving to the recitation of his bio now. Professor Olubunmi Abayomi Omotesho is a distinguished Nigerian agricultural economist and accomplished university administrator with decades of impactful service in academia. He is a professor in the Department of Agricultural Economics and Farm Management at the University of Ilorin, where he has made significant contributions to teaching, research, and agricultural policy development. A graduate of University of Ibadan, where he earned his BSc, MSc, and PhD in agricultural economics. Professor Omotesho's scholarly interests encompass management. He is an active member of several professional bodies, including the Nigerian Association of Agricultural Economists, the Agricultural Society of Nigeria, and the International Farm Management Association. Over the course of his distinguished career, Professor Metesho has held several strategic leadership positions at the University of Ilorin. He has served as Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Dean of Faculty of Agriculture, and Dean of Student Affairs Unit. He is currently the Director of the Sustainable Development Goals Project, where he continues to champion initiatives that align the university's activities with global development priorities. A prolific scholar and mentor, Professor Omotesho has published extensively and is widely cited for his research on food security and agricultural policy. His dedication to knowledge, advancement, institutional development, and sustainable growth has earned him recognition as one of Nigeria's leading voices in agricultural economics and higher education leadership. Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Just as I was waiting for this program, I made up my mind that the slide had prepared. I was going to throw it out of I won't look at that slide. I've sent it to the HOD. The HOD may wish to share the slides later, but I'm just going to talk off the cuff because I believe the speakers that are going to come after me would address the issue much better. We are talking about career for the future, but for me, we can't, and that's why I decided that I'm not going to look at my slides anymore. We can't talk about the future without knowing what the past is all about. So I want to give some context into the discipline of agricultural economics, particularly in Nigeria and in Ilorin. The discipline of agricultural economics originated in the late 19th century in Europe, particularly in Germany and the UK. And one of the earliest publications relating to agricultural economics was titled The Isolated State. The Isolated State was published in 1826 by a German named Johann Thumnen. And it basically looked at the relationship between land use and economic activity. As we all know, agricultural economics is basically the simplest way of looking at agricultural economics is looking at the application of economic principles to the study of agriculture. So that's where it started. But like most things, when the Americans take over, the things start moving faster. It was the Americans, when the Americans became very much involved, that the discipline gained momentum in the early 20th century. With the establishment of departments of agricultural economics at Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin, Madison, and Cornell in New York, Cornell State University. Then the establishment of the International Association of Agricultural Economics in 1929, further gave fillip to the discipline. And that association has been involved in hosting global conferences every 3 years from 1929. Coming further home, the Nigerian Association of Agricultural Economics was established in 1980. And I had the privilege of being at the first conference. It was held at the University of Ibadan. As a fresh youth corper, I was just starting my master's at that time. That was where it started in the Nigerian space. Some of us will remember that a few months ago, there was the call for the change of name. And we resisted it, that history is very important, that if we change to, because in the process of trying to get agricultural economics as a chartered institute, some suggestions were made for the change of name, but it was resisted and it was defeated that we should retain Nigerian Association of Agricultural Economics. Nigerian Association of Agricultural Economics, of which I am proudly a fellow, like I said, was started in 1980, and it predated the establishment of the African Agricultural Economics Association. NAAE was started during the 25th anniversary, 25th annual, 25th conference, not annual, I said this triannually, the conference of the International Association of Agricultural Economics that was held in Dublin. That was in 2004. So that briefly is looking at it from where it started, how it came to Nigeria, now the African situation. But the discipline of agricultural economics started in Ibadan, University of Ibadan, with the establishment of the department in 1963. 1963 was the first time. And initially, most of the people that were the shakers and movers of the department were economists who moved into agriculture. And I had the privilege of having one of them as an in-law, one of the people who were the first set of students in Ibadan. He got married to an aunt, and he encouraged me from the beginning to do agricultural economics. So when we were in higher school and we were talking about what we are going to do, and I'll tell people that I'm going to do agri-economics, they say, which one is agri-economics? Because I never did any economics until I got to University of Ibadan. So that was how it started. The department in Ibadan was started by Americans. Most of the people who started the department were representatives of Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. So they provided quite a number of initial staff then in Ibadan. And along the way, we had the privilege of being taught by some of these people before Ford Foundation and Rockefeller scaled down their operations in Nigeria. So the department has been very productive, and there's hardly any university you go today that you won't see products of the Department of Agri-Economics, University of Ibadan. I know that the first female PhD that was produced in that department was in 1976, and she happened to have been tied to Ilorin. She is Olori Adeshida. She was the executive director in NISPRI. She was the first female PhD that was produced in the department in Ibadan. Now to University of Ilorin. University of Ilorin, Department of Agri-Economics and Farm Management was started as part of the faculty during the 82-83 session. And yours truly and Professor J.C. Ume had the privilege of being the two first lecturers that were appointed into the department. Professor Ume went on to move to Makurdi, University of Agriculture, Makurdi. We were both assistant lecturers at that time, and we had the privilege of starting the department and the Department of Extension, because there was nobody in Extension too at that time, and we had to take the courses for the first 2 years. So glory be to God, the department has grown these days, and we have so many of you that are professors now, PhDs, and we are looking forward for you to giving back to the department. I decided that this, in my perspective, would be a more meaningful contribution than for me just to talk about career. I would be on the webinar if you have questions or issues to raise. The HOD may feel free to share the slides that I had intended to look at before. Thank you very much for the opportunity. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your presence and your words. Thank you so much, sir. So moving on to our next speaker, we'll be talking about the careers in agricultural finance, Dr. Michael Adioye. You are welcome, sir. So I'll be reciting his bio now. Dr. Michael Adioye is an accomplished finance and agribusiness professional. An agribusiness professional with over 32 years of work experience, including 26 years in the financial sector. He holds a BSc in agricultural economics and an MBA from the University of Ilorin, and is a fellow of multiple prestigious institutions, including the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria, Association of Certified Commercial Diplomats, London, and the Institute of Corporate Administrators of Nigeria. He is also an alumnus of the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, Germany, and the Harvard Business School, USA, with additional training from the Emotional Intelligence Institute, Canada. Dr. Adeoye currently serves as the Group Head, Finance Facilitation at NIRSAL, a CBN-owned agribusiness guarantee institution in Nigeria. Previously, he held key roles such as Head of Credit Risk Guarantee Operations and later Head of Agri Value Chain Finance and Investment Service at NIRSAL. Under his leadership, his team has facilitated over 250 billion into 280 billion naira into Nigeria's agribusiness sector, maintaining a non-performing loan ratio of less than 0.75%. He is married and a proud father of twins. You are welcome, sir, and we look forward to learning from you, sir.
Thank you so much for that. This is I decided to put up the face of the small boy that you just described now. First and foremost, let me start on the existing protocol, but notwithstanding, I will have to specially recognize the VC, Professor Wahab, Professor Israel, Dean of the faculty, and most especially my special lecturer and project supervisor, Professor Motesho, who has remained so young. He has not changed from the last time I left school in 1991. He's always looking young, and I'm happy that I'm participating in this webinar. Even though I'm a little bit reluctant, finding myself to present in the same forum with my supervisor, I do not take that for granted. I'm happy to be here, and I've been mandated to speak about some of these keys for the future agri-economist. And I also recognize I've seen some of our classmates. I've seen like 2 or 3 of them, and I'm so happy that we're alive and we are trying to cope, and we thank God. I think at this point, I might have to share my slide if it's possible. I don't know if it's, let me just try. Can anyone see it? Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much.
You may want to present it. Slideshow.
Yeah, I might just talk through. Just let me follow the footstep of my project supervisor. He has managed the time well. If I have to present one after the other, I might stay longer than 15 minutes. So let me learn. And he has taken me through another Agri-Economics 101, telling us about the history of agri. I've actually forgotten, but now I've gained a lot. I was jotting down. So this course is as far back as 1900, blah, blah, blah. It's nice coming here again. I'm back into the lecture room, and I'm so happy. But let me just go straight into the business, exploring career pathways in agri-economics. I'm Michael Adeoye, a proud alumni of the University of Ilorin and the same Department of Agri-Economics, 1991. I'm so proud to be here. Anywhere we go to as graduates of Unilorin, we're always proud because we present ourselves in a very exceptional way. When you see graduates from other universities, I'm not being proud here, and you see graduates from University of Ilorin at work, you will definitely know the difference because the discipline is there, the technical know-how is there. A brief introduction about myself, even though Faidat says some, I couldn't believe it's me she was describing as a small boy because I just left school some few years ago, 1991. And in a spirit of continuous learning, I decided to keep learning. As I speak to you, I'm giving this speech from Morocco in a class because I had to take 1 hour off. Because I realized that irrespective of your background, what you have learned in the school, you still have to continue learning. There's no retirement in learning. And to an extent, big extent, this will go a long way to give you an exceptional position. And you can see based on my history, I'm a fellow of 4 professional bodies. Not because I just want to have title, it's because of the learning, the teachings, the collaboration, the practical knowledge you get from these institutions. So it's always good that after school, try and be in one of those associations. Currently, I'm the Group Head Finance Facilitation of NISA. Faidat was saying NIRSA. Let me tell you the full meaning. It's Nigeria Incentive-Based Risk Sharing System for Agricultural Lending. But because it's too long, we just say NASA, which is fully owned by Central Bank and is a risk-sharing institution fully owned by Central Bank. I will tell you briefly about it, but it is important that let me just stay on the line of this topic, which has to do with the skills for the future as an agri-economist. Professionally, I started my career in 1996, even though I worked briefly because I was doing my MBA. I was so proud of Unilearning that after the first degree in agri-economics, I went back for a full-time MBA school between 94 and 95 or thereabout. And immediately I finished. When I go to banks, I see young people wearing ties, white shirts, sky blue shirts, and I say, how are these people different from me? So immediately after the first degree that I went back to for MBA, 1 month after MBA, I entered a bank without any invitation. I just said, I want to write your exam. And they said, sit down. So I wrote the exam. I did interview, and I was given an employment in a bank, Diamond Bank, back in the days. And from there, I spent about 10 years in Diamond Bank, 10, 11. I joined Oceanic Bank, another 10, 11, before joining NISA. But the most important thing is the knowledge that I got from University of Ilorin as an agri-economist, even though I was in the bank. But I assure you that both economics, agri-economics, and co, they are all related. The only difference is we are now seeing agri as a business. And for you to see agri as a business, you need to understand the concept of agri-economics. It's so wide. You are not limited to a particular office. As an agri-economist, the opportunities are so wide. I might just mention some in my subsequent slide. So aside the normal class work, I've done like 40 trainings, both local and international, just like Faidat mentioned. Why? Because as an agri-economist, I said you are not limited, because when you check economics, economics covers a lot of things, both project finance, accounting, and everything. And you are now specializing in agri. What you need to do is to do more trainings that will enable you to adapt to a lot of changes. As of today, we are talking of AI. We are talking of climate smart. If you don't adapt, if you don't re-innovate in learning new things, you might just be, you find yourself shaped out of the career. So as an agri-economist, in addition to what we are gaining in the university today, you need to attend more courses and relate it to what is happening right now. So in my professional career, I've been able to build on myself, attend trainings, seminars, conferences, just like we're doing here. That is a brief history of what I've done career-wise, but specifically, I've found myself directly or indirectly in the financial institution. Why? Because of that background in agri-economics. Because most time, maybe because of the name of the department, when we were there, we just thought that after school, we are going to the farm because of the farm management. But that is not the case. Aside that, you find out that you can actually fit into a lot of sectors, because the basic foundation for industrialization right now is agri, whether textile, whether food processing. You find out that everything is from agriculture. So as an agri-economist, you have a lot of opportunities ahead of you. When you check in terms of career opportunities, like I mentioned, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to rush. I like to work within time. When you check in terms of the opportunities available, it is limitless. It covers diverse sectors, including the commercial agribusinesses, SMEs, private businesses, in agricultural finance. Even you can be a consultant. There are a lot of consultants nowadays that they operate from their offices. They don't have large space, and you are making money as a consultant using your skill as an agri-economist to innovate, to create innovations around anything that has to do with agribusiness, even in policy development. I know some of our mates are in the Ministry of Agri. I know in Abuja, in every state, you find agri-economists in anywhere that has to do with policy development and research institutes. In terms of finance, you have a lot of relevance in development finance. Let's even start from the central bank. In the central bank, you have a huge department called DFI, DFD, Development Finance. In that place, if you remember the programs of Anchor, Bora, ACGS, and Co., these are places where you can work as an agri-economist. Aside that, you can also work in agri-tech. Nowadays, agribusiness is not limited to the physical, going to farm, rearing of animal, planting of crops and co. We have agri-tech now, where as an agricultural economics, you find yourself very, very relevant. And again, when you check some of the skills that you require, like I said, as an agricultural economist, you can find yourself in any space: banking, research institute, development finance institutions like BOI and co, even partners, international partners, FAO. You are all, there's so much availability of space for you to operate. And when you check the skills that you will need, you see skills around knowledge about agri value chain, because agri value chain is huge. You can check it from pre-upstream, even seed alone. The seed industry is large enough for an agri-economist to function. You talk of the inputs like fertilizer and co. You talk of mechanization. They are all agri-value chain under the pre-upstream. Then when you now check the upstream, where the proper activity, primary production happens, animal production, crop production, those are in the upstream. There is an economics aspect of this value chain. So as an agri-economist, you can find yourself in the pre-upstream, you can find yourself in the upstream and in the midstream. Midstream has to do with exports. Currently, where I work, NISA, I said I would mention a little about it. We do provide credit guarantee, meaning that as an agribusiness owner, if you need loan in a bank and you don't have tangible collateral, you can actually come to NISA and say, add NISA as part of my collateral, and we can protect you as high as 75% of your loan amount. The current portfolio, the biggest portfolio we have in NISA now is on exports, which is also value addition. The export market alone is in billions, and they keep recruiting agri-economists in the industry. If you check the top 10 exporter in Nigeria, they have agri-economists managing their businesses, also in the downstream, which is the market. In addition to that, you can find yourself using financial analysis, risk management, and credit evaluation skills. These are essential skills that you can use to take informed decisions, carry out loan appraisal, investment appraisal for efficiency. You also need skill around digital tools. These days, you see people talking about data analytics. As an economist, if you add data analytics to your skill, you will go a long way, because we are moving towards technology. And again, in terms of policy, you can develop yourself around policy so that when it comes to policy advocacy, you have an idea of how to actually go about it. The last of all, which is communication, collaboration, and a stakeholder, is you cannot remain an island. For you to be successful as an agri-economist, you should be able to interact with a lot of stakeholders. Like I mentioned in NISA, we interact with funders. Right now, we have about 32 counterparties listed in our books, covering commercial banks, non-interest banks, development banks, investment banks, and even vendors. When you have skill, communication skill, collaborative skill, it goes a long way. For example, what part of what is making me to look like I'm excelling in my area now is I have close relationship with MDs of every bank in Nigeria, because the banks are the counterparties. So if you are not skillful in terms of relationship management, you might not succeed. Because there are times an institution will just decide to deal with your institution based on personal relationship. And at times, based on your presentation, they can just say, is that not that Michael Adeoye that is very proud? I don't think I want to deal with NISA. So part of the skill you need is that collaboration skill, relationship skill. It will go a long way to make you excel as an agri-economist. Practical lessons. I've just mentioned some of the things that make me to a little bit stand out. In addition to the knowledge I gained from University of Ilorin, is the fact that continuous learning is my DNA. So you need to continuously learn. You need to continuously develop yourself so that you won't find yourself shaped out or outdated. We are moving from the analog age to digital age. Right now, if you don't know about climate smart, you might not fit in. If you don't know about AI, you might not fit in. So in my experience, the issue of learning and continuous learning has really helped me a lot. You also need your what we call the two types of types of skill. You have the soft skill and you have the leadership skill. The soft skill is the leadership skill. Then the hard skill is the technical. The technical you can get from the class, just like Professor Motesho taught us those days. We came out, we were using the technical skill to start our career as analysts, as middle management. But as you move on from being a supervisor to management, cadre, and executive, you will need more of technical skill. So this will help you to be able to manage people. Right now in Morocco, my course today is leadership, which is moving from operational to strategic leadership, because I'm trying to position myself for the future. So some of those things are the practical insight and lessons that might help us as young agri-economists to succeed in our field of operation. Again, when you are innovative, you can easily adapt to whatever comes your way. Another thing is for you to focus on impact driven. These days, you find yourself relevant when you work towards impact related projects where you create impact in the society. And you can also leverage on platforms like this, like Association of Agri-Economic Students. I remember we were given a lifetime membership. So we are all members. In the group, in the 91 sets, Unilorin, Faculty of Agri, we have a group chat. We interact a lot. So you need to be learning from a lot of these platforms. So invariably, in a nutshell and in a very high level summary, these are some of the skills that will enable we agri-economic students to succeed, to be versatile, and find ourselves in relevant spaces when we get out of school. I want to stop here, and I'll also be open for questions if possible. Thank you for listening, and I pray that you all succeed more than us after school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And also, thanks so much for the correction. It has been noted. And I will say this session is a very impactful and a very educative one. We really appreciate it. And we hope that we can become someone better and bigger in this scope of agricultural economics in the coming years. Thank you so much for your presence, sir. We really appreciate it. So, moving on, we'll be calling on our third speaker, Miss Adekpeju Ilupeju. She'll be taking us through the topic exploring trade dynamics.
Mrs., not Miss.
Sorry, I'm very sorry. Thank you so much for the correction, sir. Mrs. Adekpeju Ilupeju. She'll be taking us through the topic exploring trade dynamics, strategic approaches, and regional opportunities in agribusiness. So she's also the team lead for partnership and collaboration at Fixing Bank. Thank you so much, Ma. And I'll be reading out. I'll be reading our citation now. Adekpeju Ilupeju is a seasoned infrastructure development and investment specialist with over 2 decades of progressive experience in project finance and stakeholder management. She is a recognized expert in investment strategies, complex project structuring, and proactive risk mitigation, with a strong focus on driving sustainable economic growth within the high value agriculture sector. Currently, Mrs. Adepoju serves as part of the team within African Bank's International Cooperation Unit, where she is pivotal in spearheading strategic partnerships, engagements, reporting, and export development initiatives for the bank across the continent. Thank you so much, Ma. You're welcome, Ma. We look forward to learning so much from you. You're welcome, Ma.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Ma. Okay, hear you, Ma.
Yes, so I will be standing on all existing protocol. But before I proceed, I must recognize Professor Motesho. And it's a bit challenging when you have to speak in front of people who knew you when you were so little, So you ask yourself, what exactly are you going to be saying to impress them? This is like you writing one of those tests that you have written in school, or you're asked to defend your mark. I still feel like a little child having to present in front of Professor Motesha. So it's a great pleasure. It's an honor to be invited to speak to people here, students, and also people who are looking forward to making a meaningful life out of agric extension. I must tell you, you are in the right place. Congratulations. You have chosen the right course. And the floor is all yours. The sky procedure must also acknowledge the HOD. I think I might know him as well, looking at his face, but I'm not too sure. And also Miss Khadija to reach out to me, and she was quite consistent at it and nudging me to submit everything because she knows that it's a bit challenging being a woman and then doing everything at the same time. And of course, we do have the different time zones. So I really appreciate everybody. And Miss Khadija, since we're going to be doing woman to woman, I'm going to have more time than Dr. Adeoye.
The floor is yours.
I hope that is so.
Agricultural economics, just to correct that.
Agricultural economics, okay.
Okay,
so I
you
said
can
I'm
share
going to
your
be
screen.
having more time than
That's
I'm
fine.
going to be having more time than him.
That's
Okay,
fine. Please go ahead.
that's fine. Thank you. So women always supporting women. Let me know once you can see my screen. Why is it okay? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
So
Yes.
awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I've been asked to sorry, 1 second. Approaches and also regional opportunities in agribusiness. So I would be speaking to my slide and just have a different change. These two people have decided that they were not going to speak their slides, so I would try and do something different. So the table of contents, I will be speaking to you about all of this, so don't let me belabor you too much about it. Let me just take each slide and speak to it as quickly as I can. So the first thing that we need to know is the potential in agribusiness sector. It's projected that in the year 2030, the food sector and agribusiness is going to reach $1 billion. So the question is, where are you going to be? What exactly are you going to? What role are you going to be playing in this trillion business for your own earning? We're also aware of how regional market is now crucial to everything that we're doing. We're looking at competitive advantage. We're looking at how integration efforts are in place to drive all of this. That's your EFC, FTA, the ECOWAS, and all of the policies in place. How are these going to support you? All of these are in place. Figures is there. And the policy is also in place to drive the figures. So you have to look at where do you want to play and how do you want to be successful in any of these opportunities. Also, if you look at global trade dynamics, what are the factors that are driving it? You want to look at the international demand, how it influences agricultural product around the world. What is it that you can produce locally? Who will be the buyers? How can you play in the international market? So you have to look at what exactly is required from you locally, and now you can then package it and take it abroad. While you're doing all of this, there are also some things that will be able to encourage you to be able to do that. That's where you have your trade agreements in place. That's where you have your digital platform. We're all hearing what Big Brother Trump is saying about policy, tariffs, and all of this. All of this will definitely affect you. So you need information and how to play on all of it so that you just don't export and then you find out that after all the work that has been done, you are not in any net profit. So you must be guided by all of these factors that affect that speaks to the current global trade dynamics. Also, what are the factors that influence trade? You want to look at what exactly is the cost of capital for you as an entrepreneur, or like somebody wants to start business. You also want to consider the exchange rate. What is the exchange rate of your country currency compared to where you're exporting to? What are the political and legal factors involved in all of these things? Sometimes things will not just work because there are trade wars, there are some agreements that are not in place, there are sanctions in place for your country. So you have to consider all of these things when you're looking at trade. Again, infrastructure and logistics factor. You want to see how efficient the custom is in that place, the energy costs, and also digital connectivity, how it can support movement of goods in your favor. That also takes us to technology in agriculture. A whole lot of things is happening around technology in agriculture lately, which is something that you can also take advantage of. Everybody has been talking about smart agriculture. It's no longer what we used to do. There are so many things that you can do. If I can just refer to what Dr. Adeoye says, that it's about time, like you have to consider here, you have to look at all of this, and that is what we see. I sit in a place where I see a lot of business write-up, and then I am always like, where are we going to get the money from? What is going to pay this? What are the tools in place that these business owners have put in place? What if something happened? What is going to be the mitigation? So we have to ensure that all of the tools, the future tools now is AI. So you have to ensure that all of these things are there. Those are the things that can drive your business. Those are the things that can save your business. So you have to start thinking about all of these things beyond your first degree. These are things that you can learn outside. You have to consider what affects your commodity, what affects efficiency, and all of that. You also have to understand that we have what we refer to as the 3 pillars of agribusiness. It's very important. It's similar to what I was talking about. Agribusiness, again, like we all know, is beyond planting, is beyond the regular, what you call the primary or cropping or rearing of animals. It's where the rubber hits the road. That is where you have economics. That is where you have initiative on how to drive a primary production, how to make a commerce out of it. That is pretty much your agribusiness, and then it covers all sort of things, and then you can decide to play in any of these things. I have seen a project where all the people are interested in is just to process. And I've also seen in a project where they just want to do is just to bring in packaging. And they've done a lot of research to see what exactly would attract the consumer. They are not even producing at all. What they're doing is they're going around and picking products and then repackaging it and ensuring that it gets to the shelf where it commands premium markets. So a lot of things can happen to you. A lot of things can be done. You just have to look at what exactly you want to do, how this trade influences your decision, how the dynamics is working in your favor, the strategic approach that you have to look at, and then what exactly are the available leverage that you can look at. All of these things are quite important when you want to, where you're trying to find a niche, where you're trying to find out where you can play. Again, I have said something about the continent. We're quite lucky. Quite a number of countries in this continent. We've got what we refer to as suitable, arable land. And of course, in Nigeria too, we're quite blessed. You drop seed anywhere, it will be germinating. And that gives opportunity for production in the list. Also, I know that EFC, FTA is not something that is foreign to everybody. You've all learned about it, you've read about it at some point. It speaks to complementary activities. I don't have to produce what a neighboring country is producing. I should look at what exactly I've got an advantage on, and then I concentrate on it and complement what the other country is producing. For instance, if Ghana is good at grain, what can I do? I could decide, like, I'm just going to put processing factories in place just to offtake what Ghana is doing, and then I can go into production of poultry feed and all of that. And the big thing, I must speak about my bank. We have what we call the Intra-African Trade Fair, which is a biannual event, in which case that we bring people from all over, whatever role that whatever your role is across all the value chain. We also bring in people from different, outside the continent. These are your suppliers, all sort of people, just so like we're able to bring everybody together in the same room to talk about how to support themselves, how to create opportunity for markets. And I think the last one, we're able to bring together deals close to $50 billion. So again, where do you want to be? How do you want to play? The opportunities are limitless. There are lots of investment prospects which you look at when you are considering making a niche for yourself again. There are a lot of grants. Dr. Adu, you spoke about what NISA does. I'm also aware there are a lot of other ones within the country and outside the country. You need information. You need to find out who is who. You need to be on LinkedIn. You need to be on different platforms to know what is happening. Information is key. Information is actually everything. And why information is referred to as key is you can't get to your house and then you want to force the door down. You need the key to open it. So in that wise, information is key. It opens doors of different opportunity. Like Miss Khadija said, when I also left school, I looked at what are the opportunities for me. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to make money. And what was available then was banking. And then when I was serving, I had opportunity of serving with, I think it was corn oil, and also had the opportunity of serving with Fountain Trust Bank. So I started the two. Funny thing, I didn't know I was able to go to the two places. Fountain Trust gave me account opening targets. And then I was going to corn oil. So I had new people that were coming there. So they were opening the accounts for me, So, and then all I had to do in corn oil was just to do some balancing of some of the petrol stations that they had then. So I was able to balance the two. But in between, I have more pull the banking, which I thought, oh, it's something I like. It involves talking to people. And I was meeting people. I was seeing transaction and I was like, oh, this seems to be a place to learn. So, is someone trying to say something?
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So back to what I was saying, there are a lot of opportunity. Key information is key. You have to look out for grants that are available that you can take advantage of. There are a lot of agri startup everywhere. There are lots and lots of things, a lot of projects that I see, agri tech startup. People are doing, they've been able to create around just small cottage thing. They could say, oh, they have drones that they're going to come fly over your farm. They want to do some specialized fertilizer. They want to package some things, something that does not require too much, but just thinking out of the box. And then, it's like the person that started Uber does not even have a car. You can imagine the kind of deep thoughts that went into that. So there are a lot of opportunities that one can start looking at the background that you have. You are well equipped, you have very good background, you have very good education background, you're taught by the best university. So you just have to look at what exactly you can do and how you can do it. Again, the world has given you opportunity to reach out to more people. Before it was very difficult. You can be in Nigeria and then you struggle. You just have to even tell your auntie like, oh, when you're coming next time, can you ask your friends if they want to buy this? There are e-commerce platforms here everywhere. People are buying things from everywhere. It's so interesting here where I am in Cairo. There's so much like everything from Nigeria. I don't know why, but they must say, oh, is this from Nigeria? When you're wearing something, they want to know, is this from Nigeria? They're like, okay, I want it. So you also have that opportunity that people want to kind of associate with what you have. So you just have to look for this opportunity and create it. As little as plantain chips. I don't know what it is for the people here. Every time anybody goes to Nigeria, if you want your transaction to move very quickly, you just have to come with a box of plantain chips. If you're going to different table, you need something, just be dropping one day. You can imagine the market that if we have somebody supplying Egypt, ordinary plantain chips, how much the person will be making, and you just have to create a platform around it to let people know that, yes, you can send it, you are here, and you have the best. Again, one of the things that is a bit discouraging that has been affecting agribusiness, we just talked very briefly about it. We're aware that all of these changes are there, but there are things that are being addressed. There are no things that can stop you. The climate change, we're quite aware of it. Transportation costs, it's always been our thought that in classroom, and it's still a problem. But there are things that you can do very differently. Pest is always been, but there are a lot of improved seed and seedlings that are in place that you can do. Transportation costs, you can find a way to do it. There are ways that you can transport without increasing. We know that transportation automatically increases food pricing. But if you want to go into that business, just to create an opportunity for people, you can also play in that role. You can buy a lorry and be moving goods, from the farm gate to the market. It's still something. And then you can even decide to put something in. You have crates so that whatever thing that you're moving for people, you'll be surprised how that can turn into something. At this point, I want to just tell a very interesting story about a young man who I met when I resumed I had also worked in NISA at some point. When I resumed in NISA at the airport, once you get out of the airport, a lot of people will be coming to you to say, oh, they want to pick you and all of that. So I just saw this young man who was not like hustling. He just stood and said, Ma, I was quite impressed. And I went to him, and then he was one that took me. And we have this relationship all through my stay in Abuja and even beyond. So he called me a few days ago, specifically, I think it was on Monday, and he said, Ma, I want to tell you something. So I said, tell me what is it? He said he started working, I think, in FIRS. I was like, really? What happened? He said, well, in there to do something. I said, well, I'm happy for you. But if you are my brother, I will say no. And the reason why I said no is because it moves people from the airport to their homes, and then is somebody that he has very good listening capacity, listens to you, is calm. I said you were sitting in an opportunity, a bank have influence, and you refused it. And what I meant by that is the information he was getting. He was meeting all sorts of people that he could have made a commerce out of that relationship. Even if all he wants to do is let me even just be packaging things and be sending it abroad. Again, it's his choice, but I see more opportunity than what he saw from himself than for him to go to a 9 to 5. Because eventually what everybody wants is to be able to do something for yourself, which I think he could have taken that opportunity to grow. Increase the number of vehicles he has, Talking about the problems, I've already talked about this, how all of the problems in agribusiness can be addressed, renewable energy, the soil conservation, waste recycling, and all of that. There are things that can help address all the current challenges of agribusiness. So this is one of the main business of the day, the opportunity for students and people who are just starting their career. Agribusiness value chain is a lot. It's a lot. And in Afreximbank, we've just had a change of management. While the new president was accepting the role, he said to all of us that we would no longer be financing commodity, which is what the bank is known for. We do a lot of commodity finance. He said to us that the new thing is there has to be value addition. And why this is so is such that a lot of things are being thrown away from the continent. And that is why we have all of this infrastructure deficit. So the finance of today speaking to value addition for everyone, which is also something that you can look at. You can do it yourself. You can decide to ask your friends, but just know, and like I'm saying, like every other person will be saying that has all, like Dr. Adiri has also said, there is lots of opportunity for you to identify, for you to play in this role. There's also regional organization. There's Afrexim Bank, there's AFDB, there's World Bank, there's AU. You can decide that you want to be part of the people promoting policies, so all of these are also opportunities for you to join. You can be an entrepreneur, you can be an agri-tech, all of these things, they are there. Just look for the information, be consistent. Make out time, follow through, and ensure that you are able to get this information in the best form. Because again, you need to be sure of the source of the information. I have seen people coming to apply for positions that were closed almost a year ago, so you need to get correct source of information, and then you act on time as well. I thought of sharing a case study about smart farming, but I think the story I gave earlier, I think it suffices. I don't know how much more time I've gotten, Dr. Khadija.
I think maybe 2 minutes to wrap up. Find that.
Okay, so I will just let go of the case study because I think it's something that you can always see everywhere. A lot of things people are doing, using technology to support what they are doing. So the future, we see a lot of things happening. We should get ready for all of these changes. We should get ready for this innovation. Sorry, I think this guy moved. We're hearing information about robots. We know that in the nearest future is going to major thing is being practiced in so many places. But in the nearest future, you're going to see a lot of the tasks that we're doing, it will be taken over by this. Everyone is speaking about precision agriculture. We're also going to see a lot in blockchain, which is to prevent food chain. We're going to see a lot more of vertical farming in city. And finally, agribusiness threat is global nutrition and economic stability. This is just to finalize all I've been talking about. Your innovation is what can make a difference to you. Everybody would do the same thing, but what you are going to be doing differently is what is going to play that edge for you. We've seen a lot of young people. I have seen young men in their early 30s commanding millions of dollars business that they bring the project here for our finance. Regional economic communities, it's quite important. Like I started, it's knitting agribusiness, it's creating opportunity, giving us a bigger platform to play. You're able to connect suppliers. You're able to overcome the problems, challenges that people ordinarily would have had without that connection and all the support of region and all the policies being in place. So I would like to take question and answer. And again, I would like to say thank you for making our time. Thank you for inviting me, and then thank you for listening to all I've said. Again, Professor Omotesho, thank you very specially for being more than a teacher. You are almost my father without us having to do DNA check. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thanks so much for the wonderful and impactful session. I must really say I've learned a whole lot about agricultural economies and the opportunities that are available in it. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Ma. So moving on, we'll be calling upon our next speaker, Mr. Inka Inyolakon. Thank you so much, sir. The founder of CDIAL AI. Thank you so much, sir. So I'll be moving on to his recitation. Olayinka Inyolakon is the founder of CDIAL AI, a technology impact startup tackling digital inequalities in Africa by creating and distributing speech-activated AI agents leveraging AI and collective intelligence. His vision is to build a more equitable technological landscape in Africa, one that empowers communication and access regardless of language barriers. A thought leader in AI, Olayinka has spoken on panels across Nigeria and internationally. He was also part of the expert group that contributed to drafting Nigeria's national strategy on artificial intelligence, ensuring that its technical expertise translates into strategic national priorities. Olayinka's career reflects both depth and breadth. Before founding CDIAL AI, he served as head of strategic communications, advocacy, and technology at the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and as digital marketing manager at EcoBank. He holds two master's degrees in media and communications and in business administration and a PhD in natural language processing for low resource languages. His contributions have earned him wide recognition. He was the validate, valid, valedictorian for graduate studies at Pan Atlantic University and has been nominated for awards such as the Inventor of the Year, Art of Technology 4.0, and the Future Africa Awards in Professional Services. As a company, CDIALAI has also been honored, winning the Technology of Excellence Award from the National MSME and being recognized in the innovation category by the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council. From an academic standpoint, Olayinka is a visiting research scholar at the University of California, Santa Cruz, where his research explores natural language processing for low resource languages, gamified learning, and sociocultural integration. Thank you so much, sir. You are welcome.
Thank you and good afternoon. Thanks for the warm introduction. I would not need to overly introduce myself again. You have done a good job, so thanks for that.
Thank you,
I
sir.
am also an alumni of the Faculty of Agriculture. I graduated in 2010. Myself and Dr. Khadijat were colleagues while we were in school. And I still believe we're still colleagues, right? Academic colleagues in one way or the other, even though we have gone into different fields. I would also like to say kudos and thank you to, the long-serving and the fatherly position that our prof, as Professor Metesh has played, and also many, many other members of the faculty who have supported us and who gave us the foundation as, younger people. I'll still say I'm young, as younger people, at that time, and even as we continue to try to build on a legacy that you created. So thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity. I was asked by the organizers to speak around technology-driven careers in agriculture and harnessing artificial intelligence and digital innovation. I don't think the word AI at this point is strange to anyone and everyone. I don't know what the AI policy of University of Ilorin is right now, but I was just imagining, how it would be 15 years ago if there was AI to do research. So I always think about that. Personally, I don't think the use of AI for anything should be prohibited, but I feel that everyone should have agency and control on how they use it and how they learn. So, quick background, even though a lot of intro has been done, I'll mention things that have not been mentioned. I'll be speaking a lot around AI, so I would like to mention that when I'm not working, I play tennis and I watch football, so you don't think I'm a robot. The other thing that I would like to mention is I founded a company called CDAL. We distribute some AI products called Indigenous, which supports AI for African languages, which is that you can speak whatever African language you speak, and it's able to transfer that message in local languages to the people who necessarily cannot speak English or communicate in English. The major reason I started this company was because of my experience over 20 years ago. During my research and my studying of agriculture, a branch that you would know of, which is called agriculture extension, you and I know that farmers and people in the, agro-allied ecosystem, not necessarily are great communicators in English or French or whatever language is the lingua franca of the country, but they are very intelligent people. So it was very important for me to use technology to try to solve an age-long challenge. I'm also working on something called Stake Stack. You can check it out. We're trying to help change how people learn, especially in the workplaces, so that people can become lifelong and continuous learners. So let's talk about innovation. I believe you can see my screen, just so that I'm not speaking. Thumbs up
Yeah,
if you can see the screen.
we can see
All
your
right,
screen.
great. So let's talk about innovation. Innovation has always been here. If you ask me, we've always been an innovative society. From the illustration on the screen, you would see that, when we stopped walking or maybe riding horses, like the automobile has changed over the years. It went from horses dragging a wagon to cars that we drive now. And even today, to autonomous vehicles where there doesn't have to be a driver in a car. And the car will drive you to where you're going to and go and park and lock itself and come back to you. I've been in one. It's amazing. But the first time I was scared. But after then, it felt safe. What's even astonishing is that today there are self-driving tractors. Now, in the era where innovation has gotten to this level, we must start to see, as students or people in the agriculture ecosystem in Nigeria and across Africa, what we can do differently and how we can innovate for our own personal problems and our own personal challenges. As Jeff Bezos, one of the founders of Amazon, would say, innovation is never a last nugget. Every new thing that is created creates new questions. And as researchers, it starts with a question. And those questions birth new opportunities and new things in the future. These are numbers every day that people talk about across Africa. 64% of our workforce on the continent work in the agricultural ecosystem, and they contribute, depending on who you ask, over 32% of the continent's GDP. And by 2050, there will be a major increase due to population and different reasons, increase in food demand, which means that we must find ways to attend to the resource limits, to the climate change around us. And the game changer and the way to go about it is through productivity, through increasing yield on the same hectares of land that we own, through sustainability, and as one of these earlier speakers talked about, through precision farming. How do we do that? I laid that foundation so we can talk about artificial intelligence. This is the field that I operate in now. AI isn't new. It's always been around us, especially since the 1950s. So close to 100 years it's been discussed across different spheres. What you know today that is very popular is a subset called generative AI, which is that AI that can generate and mimic knowledge. Text, you can generate text, you can generate textbook stories, you can generate videos, images, you can generate spreadsheets, you can generate slides. Anything that you work with on a daily basis, there's an AI for it. In fact, there is a website called www.there'sanaiforthat.com So if you have to find an AI tool for anything you want to do, trust me, you're not the only person thinking about that. There's an AI for it. Now, there are many branches. The branch that I operate in is deep learning and natural language processing. And the branch that is very, very relevant to agriculture is machine learning, which is what has birthed predictive AI, being able to predict things as economists, being able to predict yield, being able to predict seasons, diseases, multiple things that you deal with on a daily basis. And why this is very important and the transformation that it can create in the field of agriculture is precision agriculture. I would not dwell on that. Is autonomous robotics in tractors, in drones, which you have seen, that can help spray crops, that can help economists do spreadsheets and projections, and that can help, pest detection and other things that are so burdensome on the field of agriculture. I'll give you some examples of innovators and trailblazers in this field that are doing incredible things across the African continent. I personally know more than 20 agri-tech companies operating in Nigeria, solving problems for smallholder farmers, being aggregators and being middlemen and the ones who are conducting export. But I'll highlight a few for you. Winich Farms, how many people, by show of hands or thumbs up, have heard of Winich Farms in your research or know anybody working there? What they try to do is use technology and logistics to provide traceability and fair pricing and embedded finance, in the agriculture value chain. RoboCare isn't a Nigerian company. It's a foreign company based in Northern Africa. And what they do is use satellite and drone imagery with AI algorithms for farm surveillance and to enhance their productivity so that they can increase yield on the farmland. Many of you might have done the research. The type of yield that we have on our farmlands in Nigeria, aggregately, is not compared to some countries in Northern Africa or even in Brazil, where they are doing so much more in productivity. And that's what AI can help you do, to find the loopholes and solve it. I know many, many companies, like I've talked about, Agriac, Babangona, working with farmers at the last mile to solve smaller problems and collaborate with government to do a lot of incredible things. We also do some of our work in agriculture, like I mentioned earlier. Since many farmers speak local languages, we provide the AI resources that you might not be able to find on ChatGPT and find on Gemini and all the tools that you probably use. We support some of these companies and even so much more to talk to their customers or their stakeholders, which are farmers. And that is helping and helping. My question to you now is what are you going to build as an agricultural economist or a practitioner in the field? What are you going to build using AI now that is accessible to you on your phone, is accessible to you on your laptop? What are you going to try to build? What problem have you identified that you're going to try to solve in this ecosystem? Because there are so many problems to solve. If each one of us, I think there are 110 of us on this call, if we chose 3 problems each or 1 each to try to solve, we would not solve all the problems and all the challenges that exist in the ecosystem. So we have a responsibility to work, not only to work on it as individuals, but to work on it together to try to solve problems that are very, very local to us. So AI and agric economics. By show of hands, how many people use ChatGPT or some sort of AI or have used it today? You can press the button for thumbs up. I just want to know how many people use AI on their phone, on their laptop. Anybody? Okay. All right. I can see that some people use the tool. How does it apply to you? And as a student or a practitioner in the field of agricultural economics? In many ways, but I've highlighted a few. Many of the job that economists do, which they have spoken about earlier, or which you've been taught in school, is about helping to make better decisions. When you're in an ethical dilemma, or when you want to make better decisions, you need data to do that. And AI tools, which are available to you free or behind a paywall, can really help you right now to crunch more numbers and to do 10x work of what you have done in the past. It's also helping I used to work for Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and there was a huge branch there that worked on agriculture economics and economics at large. And several reports have been written. In the past 2 years, since the release of AI, my former colleagues who still work there have done a lot of work in using AI to create inclusive policies, to advocate for, better governance, and to advocate for many, many things, especially things that are equitable for smallholder farmers who represent a large number of our farming communities in Nigeria. I wanted to show you these numbers. According to Microsoft, these are the top 10 jobs that will be disrupted by AI in the next 2 to 5 years. I'm not showing you this to dissuade you or to make you not want to be a historian or interpreter or writer on the side. But the truth is that many of these jobs that many people that we know do right now will be displaced by AI. As you can see, there is no job in there that's related to agriculture. Now let's see the least jobs that will be displaced by agriculture. This is based on research, longitudinal research and facts. Many of these jobs or variants of it are present right now in the agriculture ecosystem. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing it so you can know that the need for you to learn how to use AI is not necessarily to be afraid of you losing your jobs or whatever job you would be getting in the future. Is to apply yourself, because AI to agriculture or agriculture economics or whatever field that you want to apply yourself into is an enabler and is not a replacement. So what are the careers that you can look at? If you are very analytical and you can immerse yourself in learning how to use AI tools, generative and predictive AI tools, there is a huge demand now for automation engineers, for AI specialists who combine their special knowledge in their field with knowledge of AI, just so that they can bring something I call human augmented intelligence to the table, which is their knowledge, their experience, and merging it with AI, they can bring that to the table. Drone operators also have a huge opportunity or equipment operators, especially with robotics and how the intention and the drive it is to automate a lot of things in the ecosystem. And I didn't add this to patronize you. This is based on facts. Agric economics will play a vital role in shaping data-driven policies and market insights, not only now, but in the future using AI. Why? Because no matter how much we automate everything, and no matter how we try to use robots for everything, humans still have to feed. And besides feed, humans have to exist and operate in society. And many of those crops and commodities come out of the ecosystem. So there is a huge opportunity that still remains and that will continue to exist in the field. But besides whatever job you choose to apply yourself into in the future. Here are essential skills that I think you need to have. And I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm saying right now. Technical skills. There's so many free courses online where you can have knowledge about predictive and generative AI and data analytics. You need to know how to use Excel. You need to know how to connect Excel into AI. And you need to know how to do the job faster and smarter. Domain-specific skills. You need to understand whatever field of agriculture that you're in, you need to understand it to an expert level so that when you're immersing it into this technical world that we're going into, you would be very efficient and you would thrive. Most importantly, that I always say, you need to have soft skills. You need to be able to be a critical thinker. If you need to think with facts and reason. And guess what? Facts and reason do not necessarily come out of ChatGPT, because there's a certain thing that happens in ChatGPT and other large language models, right, that you use called hallucination, which means that it can tell you what you want to hear, not what is fact. So you can't take what an AI writes for you as fact. How do you know it's facts or not? You verify. How do you verify? Because you can critically reason and you're not lazy to immediately accept and admit what it has written for you. And like I said, just opening your mind to hybrid roles, however they come, being able to merge your experience and your background with AI and with the tools of now and tools of the future. My recap is this. Number one, be a continuous learner. Pick up digital skills almost every day. If you run into a tool, make sure you download and try to use it at least twice so you can comprehend and see how they are thinking, so you can start to think about how you can use it. Because AI isn't only about automation, it's about personalized automation. It's about how you use it. It's not about how others use it. So you need to continue to be a learner, not only now, but through your life. The second thing, somewhat controversial, is that because of the fact that AI is built on data sets that exist on the internet, books that have been written for 200 years, and intelligence from your tweet and your Facebook post every day, it seems to be able to mimic intelligence. And because intelligence is now open source and available and can be faked by AI, agency has become more important than intelligence. And agency is something I can talk about for 20 minutes, but I want you to see it as a personality trait. It's not ambition. It's you being able to take initiative, critically reason, being an avid problem solver, and finding ways and focusing and taking actions to make the decisions that will help you get your future job, that will help you sustain your family, that will help you be a contributor to society and not a menace, that will help you write that paper you want to write, even though you do research with ChatGPT, but write it based on the rules and the statutes of the school. That requires agency. If you're able to get away with writing with AI, it is not you being intelligent. It's you playing a fast one. But what you need to focus on is using agency to operate with your own intelligence and artificial intelligence. Finally, I already talked about using tools daily. My personal recommendation is a tool called Perplexity. It's free. It can be on your phone, can be anywhere. It's able to distill information to you in bite size. Claude is also very great. I would say you go to Claude and you find a way to learn Python or how to code. You don't need to build a website, but just know the basics. Just understand how these things are created. So that way you're able to apply it into your field of agriculture. You can also check out, all of the research that has been done by IBM Watson on agriculture. So many things that would open your mind into what's possible and how we can use all the land and all the resources we have in Nigeria and Africa to solve problems. And please go check this out, and I hope you find meaning and you find resources that would help you continue to thrive as a student and in the future as a citizen and a contributor to society. Thank you. You can scan this code to reach out to me, and you can drop any questions in the chat. I'll stay around and answer a few of those questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks so much for the enlightening moment and the session. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. We really appreciate your presence, sir. Thank you so much. So we are moving to the last part of this webinar. We're calling on our next speaker, Dr. Sheu Salau. So he'll be speaking on opportunities in policy and development, the global perspectives. So Dr. Salau Sheu is a senior agricultural economist at the World Bank. So moving on to his recitation. Dr. Sheu Salau is a senior agricultural economist at the World Bank based in Juba, South Sudan. With over 20 years of experience, Sheu has led impactful projects and analytics across Africa and South Africa, advocates and South Asia, advancing policy reduction, climate adaptation, agribusiness development, and food system resilience. He previously worked with the International Food Policy Research Institute and holds a PhD in agricultural economics from the University of Ilorin and a master's degree in agricultural economics from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. You're welcome, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank the organizers of this program for inviting me. And special thanks goes to our mentor, Professor Motesho, who gave most of us here opportunities to actually develop our career. Please, I'm in the field. I'm in a country called Sri Lanka on a mission. So bear with me if my network, goes bad. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I like to stand, as I said, on existing protocols and actually congratulate the department for organizing such an important webinar for the students, to start cultivating ambitions as they go through the university. We have listened to a lot of speakers before me, but I think what is important that it really should motivate all of us in the field is that there are global trends that is shaping the agri-food system landscape. Some of the speakers have talked about it. We all know that the population is going to increase to about 9.7 billion. And the implication is that we need to produce more to feed the population. At the same time, we also have climate change impacting the production. We're projected that about 8% globally global reduction in the yield. And therefore, for example, a particular commodity like maize may decrease by 24%. And what does this mean for us agri-economists or policy analysis or agricultural policy analysis? It means that government and countries need to really transform and support the agricultural sector to be able to respond to those growing demand. And to be able to do that, there will be increasing demand for types of professionals in our field, whether core agricultural economics or the policy aspect of it. There's a report from the World Economic Forum that looks at the future of jobs. Actually, it's 2025, not 2050, and listed agricultural related jobs as one of the fastest growing job even by 2030. You are going to see a slide in my next slide. I took a snippet to see. The first one is farm workers, laborers, and other agricultural workers, which means that our feed, no matter what, will continue to be very important, no matter the level of sophistication that exists. So I think this is really, we need to congratulate ourselves for finding ourselves in this profession. What are really, I think we've listened to a lot of presentations. We have seen that there are enormous area clusters that we can do or we can aspire to explore as agricultural economists. The aspect I've been asked to talk to or speak to today is the policy. And I'm going to give a very practical example so that we understand what we mean by policy. For example, Nigeria exports cashew to different countries. If you're exporting cashew, for example, to the European Union, there are standards that a minimum standard that you must meet in terms of phytosanitary and food safety standard you must meet for your product to be acceptable to buyers in the European Union. So as a country, we need to develop a policy. We need to develop a policy around, we need to develop SPS policies. We need to develop a seed policy to make sure that the farmers will be getting the best quality seed to produce products that can meet the requirements of the destination market. So a lot of analysis will go into this. So these are typically the type of tasks that a policy analyst or an agricultural economist will do. Other ones are things around trade. What are the trade opportunities for Nigeria? The government uses a lot of trade instruments to manage trade. We know the tariffs, we have quotas. So as an analyst, you need to be able to advise the government on how to set tariffs, even VAT, what would be the impact of the different trade policies on poor people or smallholder farmers as in the field. So we have a number of clusters that we can explore as an agricultural policy or agricultural economist. And there are also emerging field, that I think the last speaker, talked extensively on those related to AI and robotics. There's agribusiness analytics. There's also sustainable value chain. Because of demand for healthier diets, so a lot of supply chain companies, conglomerates are really very keen at sourcing ethical products, whether cashew, organic cashew, and whatever. So many things and so many areas that we can dive into as agricultural economists. At this point, I also want to congratulate us because I think we have actually started the journey. We are at this stage where we are trying to get the necessary educational certificate, right? Either bachelor's degree or master's degree to be able to, so this is where we are. And some of us, going up to PhD, depending on what, where we'd like to stop, but also not just this one, but also adding additional certifications, right? The last speaker talked about a lot of things that we could do, online courses, either through Google, LinkedIn, that we can take advantage of to be able to expand our skills. But beyond the educational certificate, there are also core skills that are needed. As a policy analysis, you must have a very good quantitative skills, because one of your role is to be able to analyze different types of constraints or problems that smallholder farmers will face. How the government can really address such problems. So you need to be, and it takes us to some of the courses we take. our microeconomics, our econometrics, analysis. These are really very, very important. Although these days, the AI is really taking over some of these traditional modeling, because with AI, you can do a lot of this, econometric modelings. But even at that, I remember when the last speaker was speaking, AI will give you something, but how do you certify or verify that it's true? You must have that technical competence to be able to say that, oh, this is correct or not. And then communication, how do you communicate your analysis to a policymaker who wants to make a decision? You cannot go to a policymaker and be talking about the technical jargons that you have done. You need to be able to break it down into a language that they'll be able to understand. So I think this skills is very, very important, to be able to communicate complex findings into actionable policy inside for policymakers. Where are the opportunities? There are huge opportunities that we can take advantage of. We have seen some of our earlier speakers who are working in the bank, some in the ag tech. We have international organizations. I happen to come from the World Bank. Annually, the bank spends about 8 billion globally on agriculture. We have examples of agricultural projects that the bank has done, and some of us may be able to relate to this, like Fadama project, but there are many more that the bank is doing. So the bank basically works with the government. As a government have multiple objectives. One of them is poverty reduction. One of them is food security. One of them is to be able to develop enterprises that generate jobs and economic activities. So the bank, and the bank is not alone in this space. We also have other United Nations organizations like FAO, IFAD, UNDP, and then there are international organizations like Gates, foundations that also provide opportunity for economies. Private sector is also one. Huge opportunities as policy analysis, either at the bank and then we have a growing opportunity in entrepreneurship, particularly in agri-tech, that we can all take advantage of. So this is my last slide. And one of the things I'm saying is that we need to take advantage of internships, fellowships, and some of these conferences to build in some of the required skills. So I'm putting it to us that don't just be a student. We need to volunteer and learn. By that, we will be able to build the necessary skill. I'm sure one question will be, how do we get internship opportunity? The first link here, the forage, it gives access to virtual internship with international organization that students can take advantage of and then put in the resume. For those who are really familiar with the US system, your ability to be able to volunteer, to do some projects, it gives you opportunity for postgraduate studies and even scholarship. The bank also has a lot of fellowship for African fellow and internships that we can take. And so also other organizations, IFAD, they have internship opportunity. But one point that I would like to make here is that for some of them, for example, like bank, to be able to work with the World Bank, one of the minimum requirements, particularly in the technical area, would be master's degree. So we need to keep this in mind. Then the other one is that we need to network and build multiple skills. I think this is really very important. We need to make sure, take advantage of opportunity of having mentors who are perhaps already in the field, who can guide us on what type of courses, what type of things we need to do, to get opportunities. For example, like the opportunity we got through Professor Motesho and some of our professors. The other one is that it's very important to develop the writing skills. Earlier I talked about communication. How do you communicate the findings, complex findings from your studies or from your analysis to a policymaker who want to make a decision tomorrow? For example, there's, the prices of, let's say the price of rice is really going up. And you are the policy analyst, you need to either advise the governor, the chairman of a local government on what they need to do immediately, what they can do in the medium terms to be able to respond. We say, okay, do we have, how is our food reserve? Can we release a stock to be able to depress price, at least in the immediate? Then we need to support our farmers in the medium term to build a resilient production system so that we can, ramp up production. So so it's very important that you have, because how do you get opportunity if you can't communicate your thought? So I think the opportunities in terms of career prospects, I would say are very limitless. They're huge. But some of these soft skills, in addition to those core technical skills, are really very important and that we cannot wish away. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your presence and also your words. Thank you so much, sir. So we are moving to the end of this webinar. Thank you so much, our father, our mentor, Professor Olubumi A. Omotesho. Thank you so much for your guidance always. Dr. Michael Adeoye, Miss Adepoju Elupeju, Mrs. Inka Iyin Olakan, Dr. Sheu Salau. Thank you so much for gracing this webinar and thanks for speaking to us. The Dean Faculty of Agriculture, Professor Israel Ogunlade. Thank you so much, sir, our father. We really appreciate your presence. Then to my HOD, the head of Department of Agricultural Economics, Dr. Khadija Amolegbe. Thank you so much, ma. Thanks so much for the initiative to bring this wonderful, educating and insightful program. So please, thank you so much, ma. So I'll be asking my colleagues, please kindly drop your questions in the chat. Though I actually have a question,
Yes.
and I'll go with mine
Sorry,
first.
Frida, before you go, those who have questions too can raise their hand, and when you call on them, they can then unmute and they can ask the question directly. But go ahead with your first question, Frida.
Okay. How can young agricultural economists position themselves for global opportunities in era of digital agriculture and sustainability?
Who are you directing the question to? Who should answer this question?
Dr. Inka Inyolako, please.
Sorry, I don't know if he's still with us.
Yeah, I think he already dropped. From the call. So,
But the question has been likely answered by his presentation.
Yes.
And other presentations too.
So those who have questions too can raise their hand if they have a pressing question, because we are running out of time now. I see that some people already dropped some questions in the chat box. There's a question around, considering the case study you gave about advising the government in case of a hike in the cost of rice, a common staple food in Nigeria. What's your view on introducing? Okay. So this question is directed, I think, to Dr. Shehu Salau. This is more of a technical question, but if you are free to answer if you want to answer. If not, then
This is not the objective of today's webinar.
Thank you very much. Price floor is really a very common instrument, not only in Nigeria, right? For some of these issues. But something to keep in mind is that for every policy instrument you want to use, you need to be very clear about the objectives and then make sure that it is backed by evidence. When I mean evidence, looking at the distributional impacts. So price floor is good. It's adds some benefits. For example, you'll be able to control the price. But it has some drawdown also in terms of the impacts on private sector development. So the government needs to be able to balance the use of instrument, particularly in areas like this. So if you put a minimum price, you probably give the farmer, the producer, the opportunity to earn more. Sometimes earning over when you compare to a reference international price, so that way you are protecting production. But when you look at the consumer, that may not be the case for consumer, except you are talking about minimum retail pricing, because price floor are usually implemented for farmers, as part of either buyback by the government. So if it's so there's always a trade-off between maintaining price that will support, that will enable farmers or producers to be able to get remunerative prices, compared to penalizing farmers, poor farmers, who will not be able to, depending on the ceiling, who will not be able to afford some of this commodity. So that's why, what you see a lot of the time in countries that you see the use of multiple instruments. So if you are protecting the farmers, and the price you are is going to be hurting the poor household, then you see the government use what they call social protection, to be able to cushion that effect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Any other question? Sorry. Any other question from staff, students? Just raise your hand and speak directly if you want to speak, so I can hear people's voice. Questions? Okay, so there's another question. I think this is for, please, are there some AI-driven analytical tools for data analysis in agricultural economics such as this? I think this is for Yinka too, right? Mr. Ude. Okay, Dr. Shehu Usman Akombi. Please unmute and ask your question, Dr. Akombi.
Okay, good afternoon. I want to especially thank the speakers, and evidently their word of experience came to bear in their presentations. And we know that we are now in a world in which people are looking for opportunities, and we're having a larger population of students coming out of our universities today. So I want to look at it that one of the focus I always I always have is that whatever we do, we should be having something about giving back to that institution beyond even this kind of lecture, so that if we are in an institution and the opportunities out there, how do we leverage those opportunities we have, so that some of our students, either in terms of internship, exposures, we can have one or two people that we can mentor and bring up, employing such institutions that we are, so that by the time we are living there, we can see people from our own institutions are also benefiting from the opportunities availed to us where we are as distinguished alumni. So what, in essence, in short, that I'm just imploring that the alumni network should be strengthened between some of those of our alumni in different organizations. So that's all. I don't know if my question is clear. Thank you.
Can I come in?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I think very valid points. And I'm going to put this to the department. I think we can do a lot more in this area. For example, maybe having a program that could make students to what we call mentors, and the mentors will be the pool of our alumni, right? That are in different places, depending on the type of interest that the student is showing. The other one is, I don't know, maybe a master's program. We need to encourage our student, for example, maybe, I don't know, I'm not trying to make something to complicate issue, but, maybe, for example, by the time you are graduating, you perhaps have attended a conference where you have made a presentation or you have written, something very practical, that the student can carry with them, For example, we all do this course, project management. It's a very important tool at the World Bank and many other multilateral development institutions, particularly when you are designing projects to respond to different. So I think we need to think more, be very intentional about this, have develop a program where we can let people volunteer, do matchmake, by just sharing information like one of our speakers mentioned earlier. I think we can do a lot. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Mrs. Adepeju, do you want to respond to?
Hi, sorry, Dr. Khadija, I didn't quite question very well because I was trying to multitask. If you can let me understand the question, please. Apologies to everyone.
Yes, Dr. Akombi asked the question. I don't know if he can repeat himself briefly. Well, I can also recast anyway. The question. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had a privilege. I had the privilege in the past of participating in the World Bank mission, courtesy of Dr. Shehu Salam. It gave me a lot of exposure and opportunities. If it was not given that, I would not have even visited one or two places, which he did. So I should commend him for that. And I should also say that I know one or two also would have done similar things like that. But I'm always concerned that as alumni, as people are passing out of the department, they should always think of what can we, for example, like I was in Abuja the other day, I was able to interact with the House Committee Chairman on Agriculture, or House Committee, the Senate President, the Senate Committee on Agriculture. Because of one or two things I did, I think we were able to get about 40 bags of fertilizers. So even for our students, even if it's just internship, if there's a provision for IT, wherever some of our people are, they should go to say we have a provision for an IT, we can bring one or two people back who can also get that kind of opportunity. So what I'm just saying that is giving back, and in terms of not just in terms of financial or anything or job, but if there's an internship program in any of these organizations that we have, either in the World Bank, IFPRI, for young, I think they should just let us be having those information so that at least we can also.
So I get what you mean. And going forward, the platform is just started, and the ask is noted. And you can be rest assured, like if there is any opportunity, I will definitely be sharing with the department. If there is any lead, I'm committed to share the information. I think that answers it. If there's any opportunity, even outside here, that I know it's something good, I'm happy to share. I mean, if I went through the department and Professor Moteshe is still babysitting me, who am I not to groom the other people? So you can be sure like you have 100% commitment from my side.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
for startup, you can people who are interested in internship can go on Afrexim Bank platform. There is opportunity for internship going on now. So please put in your application.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Professor Adeomi, the floor is yours. Please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much, HOD. I really want to appreciate your effort and also thank the brains that put this together. And just like the last speaker said in a response, it's just the beginning of a good thing to come. How I hope this platform will be extended to include some other people, because I'm not sure our PG students are all here. I'm not very sure.
Everyone got the information, I believe. I said everyone got the information.
Thank you very much. And I hope that this will be a regular occurrence and that the school will be expanded to include more alumni who will, by way of giving back, we know what we are doing, and we also be willing, very sure, to do the needful, just like the last speaker. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other comments? Yeah, we've gone way beyond our time. Any other comments? None, I believe. So please, before I hand it over to the dean, I think the dean is still with us. Before I hand it over to the dean, I'll urge all of us, those still left at this very moment, to turn on their camera so that we can take a group picture, at least. Innocent, I know you are there. Please help me out with the group picture. Somewhere, my view is a bit different. Let me see. No. Innocent, please confirm if you have a group picture.
Hey, good afternoon, ma'am. My view is somehow too.
Yeah, let me see. Let me change the view. The gallery. Okay, I have it. So I'll just take the picture. Now, please, I haven't taken the picture yet. Let's still keep on our camera. You can smile at least. I'm taking the first screen. I'll take the second screen soon. So please be patient with me.
The smile is freezing.
Please keep smiling. We need it. Sorry. Sorry, moment. The second. Oh, we have 4 screens. Wow. Some people have refused to turn on their camera. That means they were not present. We will not snap them.
Or possibly they are not compliant, digital
Yes,
compliant.
well, that means they are not ready for the next century, for the next decade. Sorry. So I have taken enough pictures, I believe. Thank you very much. Dean, sir, I don't know if you're still with us. Do you have any final remark? Professor Ayinde, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well done.
All right, Dean, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you for this webinar. It's very rich. I benefited a lot from it. My eyes had been opened to the world market and the world trade. And my friend wants me to be AI compliant. I've jotted down some things for my students and for myself. And I know that as these erudite scholars who have turned into the world of works, I've heard from Akabi, they will continue to remember the faculty, not only Department of Agri-Economics, but the whole faculty at large, to see that what we lack here is supplied, and our teaching and research is made better and of international worth. It has been a good time together. To our father, Professor Motesho, thank you because you are a father to all of us. It has been a good time to listen to you again. For the HOD, I congratulate you and all the staff. Thank you for this opportunity. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for staying till this very moment. Thank you, everyone. As we come to the close of this first webinar, I'm sure there will be many other webinars to come, and I hope the students turn up, because at the end of the day, they need this more than, well, of course, many faculty members, staff also told me that they also need to learn about the career prospect. I don't know where they want to go, but the student definitely need it more. So I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made it to this first webinar. First, to our speakers, our father, Professor Motesho, thank you very much for staying to this very moment. I also want to thank Dr. Michael Adio in absentia, Mrs. Adepeju, thank you for joining us, and Mr. Yinka in your lakon, also in absentia, thank you. Dr. Salawu, thank you very much for sharing your time, expertise, and invaluable insight. And I'm sure I disturbed all our speakers a lot. I was sending series of messages just to make sure they turn up for this webinar. And I'm grateful that they spared the time out of their very busy schedule to join us. Please, I have also benefited personally from all of the presentations. And his sessions were very rich, and I'm sure they've inspired our students to think boldly about their future, because definitely their future is in their hands, and what they make of it is whatever they want to make of it. And to the Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture, we deeply appreciate your unwavering support and leadership, your encouragements, and I'm sure my first meeting with you when you took on this position was how we want to move the faculty forward, and I'm sure we'll be able to do many great things together. And to the members of staff of the Department of Agricultural Economics and Farm Management, including Professor Adewumi, Professor Mohamed Lawal, Professor Ayinde, Professor Akobi, all the other lecturers that have joined us today and have also supported this webinar. Thank you very much. And to those who have supported in organizing this, especially my project student Innocent, who has done all the groundwork. I haven't really done all the work. He was the one doing all the work, actually. So thank you very much for the hard work and for working behind the scene. To the students and all the participants, I'm sure many people, not just our students, joined. People joined from outside. I can see some people that I know that joined from outside the university, and some of our alumni also joined and are participating in this event. Thank you very much for the active engagement. Please don't forget us in this department. It's like a fight for survival. We are fighting to keep the department alive. We are fighting to keep the faculty alive. So please keep reaching out to us for not just final. Of course, we need the financial support, but also words of encouragement to make us succeed in this goal of keeping the faculty alive. Finally, let us remember that this is just the beginning of the webinar. We look forward to many more engaging sessions, so keep your calendars open. We may also reach out to the today's speakers again to come and talk about something else. So please welcome us with open arms whenever we reach out to you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you, HOD. Well done.
Thank you.
When women are in charge, they make a difference.
with everybody, with men's support, definitely.